today's topics are gonna be fan favorites. I can guarantee you that. Welcome to Trash Talk Podcast number 8. My name is Alex, and I'm hosting this podcast completely by myself today, with one exception, and this exception's name is JJ, who is going to be my co-host for today, also my special guest. And let's see, like you do as a good host, ask your guest how they're doing. So JJ, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
He's doing fine. That's always a good thing. I don't have to deal with that now. Okay, so get us into our first topic, or if you want to say something before.
Yeah, no, let's get into the first topic.
Let's get into it.
And that is Rick and Morty theories.
Rick and Morty.
Today we're gonna go about a few of our favorite and a few of the more popular Rick and Morty theories.
Yeah.
We're not gonna go too in depth about any one of those, but those may or may not be future videos.
Yeah, of course. If you're interested in that, like maybe some of them you've already heard of, because we're not the only person or group of people on YouTube who ever make a video on that. But you wrote some stuff down, didn't you?
Yes. So I think let's start with the biggest one.
Start with the biggest one. Can I guess what it is?
Yes.
Is that Evil Morty is Rick's original Morty?
That's a version of that, yes. So it's almost not a theory, but the fact that Rick C-137 is not in Dimension C-137,
okay,
and for most of the episodes, or for any of the episodes, as a matter of fact. So the Morty is not his original Morty, stuff, which is basically confirmed by the episode where Evil Morty appeared.
Yeah. And
of course, it would make sense with Evil Morty specifically targeting Rick C-137.
If that's his original Rick.
That would be his original Rick, yes.
Yeah, because there's just like this idea that Rick, like the Rick C-137, he's like hated and all that because he's trying to raise an intelligent Morty, and that the now evil Morty was his first project, kind of. And when he turned bad, then he kind of abandoned him and went into like another dimension to try again, pretty much.
It's not necessarily the best idea to cybernetically enhance a Morty.
No, that's not a good idea.
Although
cocky Morty can bring up some problems.
Yeah.
Absolutely true. Now some, like, are we gonna call it evidence or just indications? But like,
it doesn't matter what we call it. Just go into it.
Some indications for that theory may hold validity. Is like the memories and kind of I'm not gonna call it evidence, but there's pictures of Rick with like a baby Morty.
Yes.
Which I think it's stated that he's been away for like 20 years. That's what Beth always tries to say.
Yes, that's what she always says.
Specifically state 20 years, but like for a long time.
14.
Morty's 14 years old, so he couldn't ever, with that exact Morty, had any relations with. But there's in the episode Closer Encounters, there's when he's getting his brain analyzed, right? There's a memory of him holding a baby Morty, and also in Bird Person's home, there's like a picture of him with a baby Morty.
Yes, so there is, of course, theoretically a way to disprove it, and that's just by saying that he hadn't met Beth in 20 years, but he could have had contact with Morty.
Yeah.
I mean, he can't just jump through a portal into the house and go back again, but that's unlikely.
But there would have been a point where that Morty would see Rick for the first time, right?
Yes.
Because assuming that the theory is true, then he would have, like, in that dimension, he might have taken the place of a Rick who was usually there, or used to be there, but either died or like was gone or left or whatever. So he had to find a dimension where there wasn't a Rick already to take his place.
I'm just saying it could have been. It's unlikely that there was the same Morty, but
maybe he just brought another Morty that he met before. I mean he changed location at least once in Rick Potion number 9.
Yes,
which they had to find a different universe.
Yeah, so of course that's official that the universe after season 1 episode 6 is of course a different one than the previous one.
6 or 7 or something like that.
It's 6.
It's 6. Right?
Also, talking about different universes and different episodes, there is a big theory that we're not always seeing the same universe.
Yes.
A big one for that, of course, is season 2 episodes 2 and 4,
which are it's Morty Night Run.
Yes.
And it's
M. Night Shyamalan's.
That's in the first season though. You're talking about Total Recall, don't you?
Total Recall, yeah.
Total Recall. That's when. Sorry. So here's the thing, right? The Morty Night Run. That's one
Wrong
thing with,
twist.
with the Jerry daycare, which is
Yeah.
a hilarious concept, by the way.
Yeah.
I like the huge Beth doll, and first one to the living room gets you just the picture settings. The setting is always too high, and they're all happy. And that's great. We see that when like the people that were following Rick and Morty, presumably C-137, they put in their Jerry, and they get this ticket. Is it 5216?
I don't know the
It's
exact
a number anyway. And then we get through all the stuff that they're doing with Combobulous Michael, who might still be alive, by the way. Probably not a theory on your list, but I'm not going to get into that.
I mean, we can talk about other theories. I just made the list.
They're just collecting some rocks. They're killing the fart, and then later when the episode is concluded, they get back to the daycare. And we see them walk in there picking up their Jerry, and then another pair of Rick and Morty come up to them with their ticket in their hand, and they say, "Wait, you got 5261?" And according to that, those Rick and Morty, like those two, would be the original ones that we see
Rick C-137
dropping
Morty,
off
whatever.
at the daycare, meaning that pretty much the entire plot in Morty Night Run with the death of Combobulous Michael happened in the reality of the Rick and Morty that we were following, but not the original Rick and Morty.
Yes, which of course the rocks they collected later play into Total Recall.
Exactly. When the episode starts, it's kind of subliminal. Rick enters the room and just drops a couple of green glowing rocks into the kitchen trash. And I think Jerry Suzuki tells him not to do that anymore or something like that. So that would be the different Rick.
Which would also explain why Mr. Poopy Butthole was always a part of the original reality, despite not having ever appeared in another episode.
So basically, within those two, like, maybe Morty That Run kind of poses the point where it flips.
Yes.
We're going to another reality, because by episode 4, it turns out that Mr. Poopy Butthole, which is another theory about him, but Mr. Poopy Butthole apparently has always been a family friend. Yes. Maybe that's only in that reality, and in the C-137 dimension is not.
Exactly.
Which
he might not even exist.
He might not even exist, or be like whatever, right? Maybe that can lead us. Or do you got some to that, like some more to that theory? Because then we can go right into the next one, which connects to that.
Sure.
So, which is that Mr. Poopy Butthole actually is a parasite. I might have told you about that off the air at one point.
Explain it anyways, because viewers.
So basically, the consensus is that viewers. Like how you use the plural there. But, alright, so the basic consensus is that the parasites can only implement good memories, right?
Yes.
So, assuming that alright, I'm gonna try to explain it like this, right? So, Mr. Poopy Butthole is a parasite, meaning that the memory of him being shot by Beth would be a false memory that he implemented into the people. So, you could say against that theory, right, that he can only implement good memories.
Yes.
But he can only implement good memories of other people of him, right? So parasites cannot implement a memory of themselves doing something bad to the other people.
Yes, but you're saying they can implant memories that do the other way around.
Exactly. Because Beth shooting him is not Mr. Poopy Butthole doing anything bad to any of the main cast.
But that would also mean that he would later multiply again to create more parasites, which of course could happen. We don't see how that ends.
Yes, and one more thing that speaks for that is when the episode starts, we have Uncle Steve, right?
Yes.
Who turns out to be the first parasite. So Rick shoots him, and he says, or before he shoots him, he says that parasites can only multiply as long as there is still one parasite left. So he shoots him, and at that point, assuming that Mr. Poopy Butthole is not one, or for matter of fact, any of the other main cast is not one in that reality, there shouldn't be any more parasites coming up.
Yes.
But they still do.
Which, of course, could also mean that another cast member is a parasite.
In that reality.
Which, the most likely candidate for that would, I guess, be Summer.
Summer?
Well, because it can't really be Morty's parents, because Morty's parents are required to have Morty, like, from a biological standpoint.
Also Summer.
How is Summer necessary for any of the other stuff?
She's kind of... Oh, I see what you mean now.
Like, the biological connection between the characters. Right. Like, they could have
So you're
an
saying
imaginary child, but you can't really have imaginary parents.
so the whole memory of Summer being their kid is fake. So
Yes,
they basically got married and stayed married over a fake memory.
Although then again, there are probably some negative memories that they recounted, which would disprove that. But let's not get too deep into
Probably, right? They show that later on, like when determining who's real and who's fake. They show some people who people have negative memories of.
Yeah.
I don't know if Morty's one of them. No, yeah, Morty is, right? It's Morty and Summer. They remember each other in negative ways.
So in that case, they would also disprove Summer. But yeah.
Not sure about...
Also, if Morty
Jerry
were a parasite, that would kind of make it weird, because then usually the Morty in each universe is somewhat similar to the Rick. So having a parasite Morty with a normal Rick, that would be...
Maybe the glowing rock just turned like someone into... I don't know about the glowing rocks, but another thing though that I was thinking about the other day about that very same episode is, you remember Sleepy Gary?
Yes.
And Jerry apparently is gay in that episode.
Yes.
And him and Sleepy Gary for some reason are like a gay couple, or are cheating on Beth or whatever. So are you saying that Jerry, even though he has memories of being gay, in that exact episode he still kisses Sleepy Gary? So you're saying that just the memories actually biologically influences him, like genetically, to where he now is and feels gay in the present moment?
Maybe he was always bisexual, and that would make that work.
But that was a... Alright, that's a...
Also, they have emotional connections to all the characters to varying degrees. Thereby, wouldn't be that weird that they could implement like love into the memories that they're implanting.
This is kind of weird. Like, for that to work, I feel like Jerry had been a bisexual or gay like all the time, and Beth just didn't know.
Yeah,
something like that.
So
favorite character from that episode?
From that episode, gosh, there were so many great ones in there.
Yep.
That
was...
I mean, to be fair, favorite character in that episode would be Rick, but
of course, right?
But like from the fictional ones,
the pencil.
Yeah, Frankenstein's monster was great as well.
What?
Frankenstein's monster was great as well.
Yeah.
So one more theory that I definitely want to bring up that I've just recently heard, and there are spoilers for season 3 there. Season 3 episode 2 specifically.
We have reviewed that on our channel though. We have reviewed
also,
both of them on our
channel.
channel.
Note that we're recording this before having watched season 3 episode 3, so...
Yeah, because it is not yet. But at the point of you watching this, or listening to this rather, because it's a podcast, we will have reviewed all episodes that have so far... Or shouldn't I say you watching this, but at the point of we recording. At the point of this video is going up. You know what? Fuck's sake.
The point is, we have already recorded the reviews, and you've already seen
everything
them, maybe. But if our theories are disproven after season 3 episode 2, we cannot yet know that while recording.
What he is saying is basically, if you encounter a spoiler to you, then it's your fault because you haven't watched our reviews.
Okay, so yeah, so in season 3 episode 2 there is a theory that I think will make you like the episode a bit more.
Alright, because I didn't like it. I hated it.
Because that would contribute to the ongoing plot.
Okay.
And that is the idea, and there's not really too much evidence for that. It's just an idea which would work.
Glowing green rock again?
No, actually, it has... The idea is that Summer got pregnant.
Alright.
So, the things that they use as arguments is, for example, that there's probably not going to be any condoms in the radioactive future, probably, and she did sleep with a dude.
Did she?
The dude with the...
Never explicitly stated, but she got married. She was married to him, so
she was married to him, and there was that one scene in the tent when...
Yeah,
when they first took off the thing. Yeah, of course, they don't show them having sex because, you know...
I guess. Also underage, right? Is she still 17 or is she 18? Doesn't... You know what, continue.
So, teenage pregnancy, they said that was going to be a pretty dark season. So, the decision...
So she's doing the Beth? Like, she's repeating her mother's...
That was another thing that was brought up because it would exactly fit in with that. And that would, of course, be an interesting theme to see whether Beth would, for example, be for or against an abortion because they wanted to abort Summer.
Yeah.
The car broke down on the way to the clinic.
And now... Yep. and now that Beth has experienced, you know, like how bad her life turned out in Rick's 2 minutes when she's seen all the alternate realities of how good she could have had it. being an actual human surgeon living in a huge house with all the birds, exotic birds or whatever. She might be for that abortion. Alright, that's interesting.
That would, of course, work with the dark topics.
Mm-hmm.
That would give the episode that you thought would not have any ongoing plot, an ongoing plot point.
Yes.
And they would also bring up some ideas of, like, maybe revisiting the reality because the father still lives there.
Yeah, okay, so I would kind of like that. Even though, do you think, like, that dude's gonna turn into a Jerry and be forced to, like, they're forced to stay together and all that stuff? Maybe they're gonna
Interestingly enough, despite being in the apocalypse, he's more intelligent than Jerry.
Yes. Also, thing that I would like is Summer just deciding to go back to that dimension, making up with him, and staying there, and they literally just killing off Summer as a member of the main cast because she's saying of the main cast, she's probably my third least favorite person, also my third favorite person.
Okay, yeah.
That's because the main cast is divided into very good and very bad for the most part, and Summer's kind of smack bang in the middle there. Another thing though, with the whole when we're talking about the whole kids and children stuff. Remember Raising Gazorpazorp?
Yes.
When Morty had that kid with the Gazorpazorpian robot?
Yes. Wait, was it before or after the
That was in
Universe
season 1. I think...
because it's kind of important.
Is it?
I don't know what you're going to say, but...
It's not important for what I was going to say.
Okay.
Just very simple, right? So the robot is a robot that the female Gazorpazorpians create.
And it looks like a human.
It looks like a human.
Which I thought was weird.
But the female Gazorpazorpians kind of... like, they got arms on their heads, but other than that...
They got way more arms than humans. That's a big difference between the bot and...
But the male Gazorpazorpians are really stupid, apparently. So here's the thing,
but
right?
why would you construct a robot that looks like a different intelligent species than your own?
I don't know. Just leave me alone. Okay? So, here's the thing, right? The robot is intended to pretty much collect the male Gazorpazorpian sperm, right?
Yes.
Because they are too dangerous to actually be around.
Yes.
So, when Morty has a kid with the robot, and the kid turns out to be one of those violent creatures, right?
Yes.
But why? Because there's no male Gazorpazorpian DNA in that kid. It's Morty's DNA and female Gazorpazorpian DNA. Like, how...
That's a good question.
It's presented that the male Gazorpazorpians have evolved differently from being separated. Because the females... It's too dangerous for the females to be around them. Because the males are completely barbaric. Right?
Maybe it's some gene that is always in the Gazorpazorpians, but is only triggered by testosterone or something.
That's testosterone. That's testosterone in female bodies too, just not.
Yeah, but not to that degree.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something to do with hormones and stuff.
They could probably get themselves out of that, like by just explaining themselves out of that corner by just saying their DNA works in a weird way. Whenever it's it's a male of Gazorpazorpian heritage, it's gonna be half horrible. Because that's what they do too, right? Alright, so the female Gazorpazorpians, when they have male babies, they throw them out to the other males, right?
Yes.
Because, okay, first of all,
could it be a recessive X gene?
I don't know. First, okay, one thing, right? First of all, that could lead to uncontrollable incest, because they don't know what the males are doing out there with the robots and who, you know what?
Yes.
Okay, but... in that case, it would be understandable to have male Gazorpazorpian DNA in those males, and therefore getting rid of them because they might pose a danger. But when it's Morty, seeing as the female Gazorpazorpians don't have that barbaric stuff at all, right? None of his parents, Morty Jr.'s parents, should.
Yes. So let me pose you this idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's a recessive X gene.
Yeah.
Thereby, it always occurs in males if they get that gene.
All right.
And it only occurs in females if they get both of them. The female society is pretty strict there, so if one would be that aggressive, they would instantly kill her.
Yeah, or just do it. Yeah, probably.
There's still then a chance that, I guess about a 50% chance that a male would still be not that aggressive, but yeah, that still kind of
apparently
works.
they all are though. Like they presented it.
That would make it so that maybe those are weaker and thereby killed off by the stronger barbaric males. I could logic out of there multiple ways.
It's just weird.
But it is weird.
Yeah, because assuming that the robots contain female Gazorpazorpian DNA, did they ever actually mention that the robots actually give birth?
No, but I mean that's how.
That's how. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's how it works. Because that's kind of weird, right? That would mean that they would have constructed the robots in a way that they could actually like bear a child and like.
Yeah.
I would.
There's a lot of weird
It
things
would have
about
been
that
a lot.
robot.
It would have been a lot easier to just use the robot as a vehicle to collect the sperm and then use it themselves.
Yeah.
But okay, so that's one of the that's not really a theory anymore. That was just
Yeah, so I think that was also
Do you
probably
got
enough
any
for that topic,
more
right?
theories? So
No,
if
not any that
not,
I've written
that's
down.
yeah, that's probably going to be it. Let's get into the next thing that we have planned. We're going to talk about this later, maybe. So halftime show, right?
Yes, so we've already made a list of our favorite musical artists,
And we're getting really repetitive already.
and I thought we were gonna do a bit of a different list this time and just list who we've got the most songs of.
Meaning that we will no longer focus on quality, but on quantity.
Yes, we're gonna use the same rules as last time, so that means if a singles artist also produced songs, that was also
They
banned,
have probably produced songs, but if we
Yeah.
do actually have them.
those do count as one group.
Yes. Rules are songs that are in our playlist at the moment.
Yeah, for me it was just songs that are on my computer because I always listen to like play all random.
I'm sure,
yeah.
but like the songs that we know, like, and listen to.
Of course, we can't just do total songs they produced. That would be
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Exactly, that makes no sense. Because then, in that case, like, probably the Rolling Stones, like, they've been active for decades. I don't know who produced the most.
AC probably a lot of as well, but yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do top 5, because it's a halftime show, and last time the topic was a top 10, and it got way out of hand.
Also, just the fact that there would have been a lot of ties in the lower ranks.
Yeah, also, when you go back and watch that, what podcast was it? Was it 3rd or 4th?
I don't know.
So somewhere around that, it's probably says in the title. You can watch that if you've already done that, which you probably would have, because people usually watch this stuff in.
Anyways, get to the point.
I'm getting to the point. You could probably conclude from our top 10 favorite ones. Most of those are going to be on this list too. So we're going to name the artist, going to lowest to highest, and
Yes.
we're naming the amount of songs.
Exactly.
And we're gonna. I just made that up. We're gonna guess each other's number 1
Okay.
once we get there.
Okay.
So what do you want to start?
Okay, so at number 5, I've actually got the only tie on this list.
So we got 6 on the list.
Technically, yes.
Yeah.
And that is, with 9 songs each, Genesis / Phil Collins and AC/DC.
9 songs only? That's not a lot. Also, 9 AC/DC songs. I only got 6 AC/DC songs, which I wrote down in preparation for this. 9 is not a lot. Like, number 5 for me has 15.
Okay.
And that's the Beatles.
Okay.
Apparently, probably in every single position, my number 3, or I usually have a tie there, will have as much more than your number 3, and my number 1 will have more than your number 1.
I would assume so.
Because so apparently we need to compare the total amount of songs that we have later on.
Yeah, but I have a lot of like one-offs and 2 or 3.
So do I. But that's
I have like I think 5 artists with 6 songs each or something.
yeah. Well, so do I. But that's kind of weird. Okay. Get into number 4 if you.
Number 4, Queen with 13.
13 Queen songs.
Well, technically 12 Queens if they want Freddie Mercury.
I'm gonna check real quick. That was pretty close for me, but Queen and Freddie together were 11.
Okay.
So that would have actually been on your list too. But for me, it didn't make it because the Beatles already were at 15.
Yeah.
Alright, that's cool. So I get a tie here, right? Am I just gonna announce one, or am I gonna announce both?
Just say both.
Because it's alright. So at number 4 and 3, both tied for third, would be Bon Jovi.
Yes.
Like, kind of obviously. And one band that wasn't even on my top 10, which I was considering it, is the Pogues.
Okay.
The Pogues. I got 16 songs each.
Okay.
So 15, 16 is pretty close there. Yeah, the Pogues. I didn't even think of the Pogues, and I was expecting bands like Queen to be on there for sure, but they're not.
Okay, so I guess my number 3 is next.
Yep.
Which is the Beatles
Alright.
with 17 songs.
17, so 2 more than me.
Yes.
Which, can I guess which 2 songs that would be?
Yes, you may.
It's probably not going to be those, but like 2 popular songs that I, for some reason, do not have yet, but I should get at some point would be, I'm going to say, Twist and Shout and Strawberry Fields Forever.
No.
And you can't tell me what it is because you don't know exactly which one.
So,
we're going to compare it.
Here Comes the Sun, I don't think you have?
No, I don't like it. I don't like that song. Do you like that song? Don't like the song. Don't like songs with sun in the title. Walking on Sunshine, horrible song. Don't like it. What's up with you?
So, another one that might be there is My Sweet Lord by George Harrison.
Alright, no, I don't have that.
So those would probably be the two.
Those might be the two. There's probably going to be differences anyway.
Yeah.
Still, but...
So, I guess you're number 2.
Oh, you're number 2 because you started the list.
Yeah, but I thought because of going alternative.
It doesn't matter. Okay, so my number 2 is the one that you and everyone and their mother expected me to have at my number 1, which is CCR.
Okay.
It's 28 songs, including 1 song or 2 songs by John Fogerty. I'm not exactly sure, but CCR plus John Fogerty, 28.
Okay.
Probably more than your number 1.
Yes.
So you're number 2.
My number 2.
Let me guess real quick, right? Do we have Bon Jovi yet? I'm gonna say Bon Jovi.
Yes, it's Bon Jovi with 19.
19. All right. So you still have 3 more Bon Jovi songs than I do. Which one of them is Bed of Roses?
Yes.
Which I'm not a big fan of that song, to be perfectly honest. What would be the other ones though?
You do have Bad Medicine now, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
I don't remember the title of one of
The other ones.
It doesn't matter right now.
We'll look at that.
Let's keep the podcast going instead of just thinking about it's songs we're missing.
Yep. So Bon Jovi's your number 2.
So we're guessing number 1s for each other, right?
Yes. Would you like to start or shall I start?
You start.
I'm starting guessing your number 1.
Yes.
It's tough. And you said off the air that it's probably going to be the same one for me when I'm gonna guess the one that I got, which then that makes your guess obsolete.
Yes.
I'm saying ABBA.
Yes, ABBA.
It's ABBA, right? So how many songs you got?
Including Agneta solo songs, which are 4 of those, would be 27.
I got 32.
Okay.
32. 4 of them are solos by Agneta Felskrog. And thereby 28 regular ABBA songs.
Yes, I have 23 regular ABBA songs.
Alright, so ABBA, I remember, was number 10 on my list when talking about favorite bands.
And didn't make mine.
And didn't even make yours.
I knew from the beginning when I was making this top 5 list though that ABBA was going to be number 1.
I thought for myself CCR, but then I remembered, man, ABBA. I got a lot of ABBA songs.
Yeah.
Because the whole Gold CD, right? You ripped the whole Gold CD. And there should be more on that. I'm just saying, like, I could easily, like, with one quick go at the internet right now, improve that number to 40 with all songs that I would like.
Okay.
And I might do that at some point, just to get, like, to 40 or 50, whatever.
Yes.
Because, man, a lot of songs. A lot of songs. Okay. Just maybe draw some correlations from this to, because we got a lot of time left.
Yes.
To the other topic. When we did the quality thing. So, what does it tell us? Like, apparently, I don't value ABBA as much in quality as I do in quantity.
Yeah, so...
Which makes me regret kind of putting them that low, because I had a lot of other bands over them, which don't even have a third of those songs. And I might change that next time we do that, to be honest.
Yeah, so we definitely need to rework our top 10 lists, because a lot of the artists had like way less songs than those on our...
I wrote some more down. So, for example, I had the Hooters, and I think at number 4, I got 8 songs. I had Runrig, I think at number 6, got 9 songs. Slate at number 3, 10 songs. It's a lot less.
I mean, I had Supertramp / Roger Hodgson's on there. There's 3 songs.
Which was a horrible decision for you to make. There are Cat Stevens on there with like 4 songs too.
Yeah, something
horrible decision to make. And then you got 28 songs of ABBA or whatever. That's 26.
27.
Or 27, and you not leave. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful, man.
So yeah, ABBA needs to make the list next time, I guess.
Needs to make the list.
Also...
You know what happens, ABBA? You know what happens when you got 32 songs? They were like, huh? You know what happens, ABBA? You just made the list. Alright, continue. I just wanted to get that in there.
Yeah, so, ABBA and AC/DC, I both did not have on my list, and both of them I see as making good music, and making
pretty good
music on mostly the same level.
AC/DC, 6 songs.
I had
9. You said
9, yeah. Oh yeah, I said that, yeah. 9 songs.
6
so,
and... What?
Because they make decent songs, and make a lot of decent songs.
Yep.
But neither of them has made any songs that are, like, standouts for me.
Also, I still don't get why the Pogues were not, like... I got 16
because
songs.
probably just forgot them because we made those lists.
I didn't forget them because I looked all of them up while I made a list. I wrote them down, but it did not make the list. It just did not make the list. And like I'm gonna have to go back listen to that podcast again and see exactly what I put on that list, because there's got to be space for ABBA to go up way more than number 10, and the Pogues might find their way on that list too. But it's tough. It's tough.
Also, another thing that this topic taught me is that I need more Stones songs.
You do?
Yes.
Why do you?
Because I only have like 6 or so. And they're
I
really good.
don't even have 6. I got probably like 4 or 5.
I mean, they were on my top 10 list.
They were on your top 10 list. They were not on mine. Our lists differed more than I would assume.
Yes.
But if we did the top 30, it would be more similar. Like relatively to the amount of bands on there. There would be a higher percentage on both of our lists.
Yeah, that could easily be the case, yeah.
Right. Because if say if we did a top 5, like just took the top 5 off of the top 10 list, then I'd have the Hooters, like I think Slade, the Hooters, or Runrig in there. So at least like 2/5 on my list, it wouldn't even make yours.
Yes.
In top 5, right?
So I guess let's get to the fact, right?
Let's get to the
facts.
fact of the week. Okay, what's your fact of the week?
My fact of the week relates to the podcast that came out a week before this one.
All right.
And back then my song of the week was Centerfold.
Yeah.
And Alex, after me recommending the song on the podcast,
Yes.
actually added it to his playlist.
That is true.
That's the first time that one of us added a song to their playlist because the other one suggested on the podcast.
Because that's the first time someone used a song of the week, which wasn't a song that we both had on our playlist.
Yeah, but
And I also give you constructive criticism on that song too, like grading all the instrumental, the lyrics, and all that stuff.
it's a catchy song.
It's a catchy song. Lyrics is a very much overdone plot. But let's not get into that. I actually proposed to him that at one point we could do a series where.
But sometimes you just need a few catchy songs in your playlist.
We can analyze that. Yeah, there's more of those songs where the lyrics isn't that great, not a great plot, but catchy song.
So,
Sure.
what's your fact of the week?
My fact of I like how you related the fact of the week to a song of the week though. My
Yes.
fact of the week is actually related to Rick and Morty,
Okay.
and I wrote it down before we ever came up with this topic. It's relating to the episode Morty Night Run too.
Oh.
You know when they're in the Blitz and shits in the
Yes.
arcade center? You probably know this, but when they're playing Roy, right?
Yes.
Roy is the game. In the back there's a Meeseeks. Have you ever seen it?
Yes.
There's a Meeseeks being seen helping some dude probably achieving a high score at a level and then disappearing, all in the background while they're
Yes.
playing Roy. I didn't know if you knew that, but
Yes,
apparently
I did.
you did.
I did know that.
Maybe not everyone spotted this. That's interesting, because that means that Mr. Meeseeks appeared in more than one episode.
Yes. So then get us into your second topic.
My second topic, our second topic.
Our second topic that you proposed.
Yes. So today's podcast, I already said that in the beginning was going to be a fan favorite. Matter of fact, it was my first line when I opened this podcast. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Half hour ago, or should I say like 31?
The exact number doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Okay. It doesn't matter who you are. And that is actually a reference to our next topic, because we're talking about the WWE again. Not the on-screen stuff, though, more of the backstage stuff, and we're going to get into the politics, like the decision of the company a bit more, and maybe try to understand a bit of the mind of the crazy Vince.
Yes.
So, what I was thinking of is a couple of decisions that they make regarding certain topics, people, and decisions that aren't necessarily the most popular ones and are a little bit questionable and definitely up for debate.
Like canceling Talking Smack.
Canceling Talking Smack. Why, man? Like, okay, so I know that Mr. McMahon is still an old school guy with the kayfabe and all, and he doesn't like to shoot stuff, right? But people are, like, there's more than one person on the roster who completely breaks kayfabe all the time on their YouTube channels.
Yes.
Like, you got Xavier Woods, and he invites all the people, and you got Seth Rollins playing AJ Styles and Madden, and everyone's just having a good time. You got Talk is Jericho, which is probably my favorite podcast outside of our own, and I like to listen to. Shout out to Chris Jericho. Shouting
Because he needs it.
you know, from us especially. I mean, if like someone watches this podcast 3 years online, and we have 1 million subs, I will get people to watch Talk is Jericho, probably. All that, like, and Vince, I don't know if you could like technically do that, but forbid them from doing that. I don't know.
Yeah.
If he's so much against shooting, and shooting, by the way, means that it's not in kayfabe in wrestling terms.
I like how you explain shoot but not kayfabe.
Kayfabe is the persona that they put up.
Yeah, but
basically the act that wrestlers put up to portray to be real, but everyone knows it's not real. But
I'm just
way
saying,
back in the day, people thought it might be
once
real.
you start explaining terms, you might as well explain them all.
Yes, people would usually, if you watch this topic, like it's backstage stuff, you would at least know a little bit about wrestling, like at least the upfront stuff. What would you cover the backstage stuff? You know,
I mean,
anyway.
maybe people just listen because they like us.
Like listening to us.
I know that's ridiculous.
If you like us, yeah, that's ridiculous. If you like us and you value our opinions, then go watch wrestling. If you don't do that already, also go watch Rick and Morty. If you're not doing that, get into those two things because they're pretty cool, and then you can be as cool as us and join our club, the Beller Club. Not our club, by the way. not the copper.
You can either join the Beller Club or the Beller Kick My Ass
Beller
Club.
kicked your ass. Which Beller said that to Miz at one point.
Yes.
What?
It was a pay-per-view.
What was it?
That was a bit back, like 2 or 3 months back.
Was it at Fastlane or something like that?
I don't know. It really doesn't matter right now.
It doesn't matter right now. Okay, one of the decisions that I was gonna talk about was personnel decisions.
Okay.
Which Vince appears to make mostly by himself, which is shoving people down people's throats that we don't like.
Roman Reigns.
Not necessarily Roman. And I disagree on some things with the popular opinion, but Roman Reigns is just a victim of a shitstorm anyway. He's not as bad as people portray him on the internet. He's not as good as Vince thinks he is.
Yes.
But he's not as bad as people make him out
I
to
know,
be.
but it's the obvious example, though.
He's a pretty good wrestler.
Yeah, he's a decent worker.
He's a pretty good worker.
Don't give him a mic, though.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? So that's purely like what I'm gonna say is purely arguing from my position and the position of most fans, right? So I know there's business reasons behind all that, but who would you rather return to the WWE right now, CM Punk or Paige?
Paige technically still employed by the WWE, but yes,
return to
of course, Punk.
And then who probably will return soon?
Maybe Paige.
Off of those two, Paige. Or probably at the
least
point
more likely than Punk.
Maybe at the point we uploaded it, probably she already returned. Why would you want Paige back on? Like, why would you want that?
To spite her because she doesn't want to be there.
That type of person on your
because
on
she
your
does want to be
television
there. That's a fact.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess, but if that's the case, she
might get released because of the whole assault thing.
Should get released
because
you got these like these dudes, Paige and Alberto Del Rio, are batshit insane out of their minds in real life.
Because she is being charged with like battery or something.
All
against Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, like I remember.
She's being investigated. If she gets charged, she will be suspended, and if she's convicted, then she will be fired. That's standard procedure.
The fuck am I saying? I have seen a video titled like today before I came here saying that Paige is set to return in the near future. Why would you want that to happen? Also, I remember that one comment that I saw on one of the I believe on one of the Wrestle Talk videos. We said like once Paige was young and stupid, now she's older, and I agree with that 100%. Because man, why would you want these people in your company, man? Just fire them already. And then you got CM Punk, which Vince and all like everyone is giving a really hard time. I know Punk doesn't want to come back.
Yeah,
but I pray to the God that
pretty
don't
sure I've
believe
heard something that the WWE actually wouldn't be opposed to him coming back,
which is great.
But he is opposed to that right now, so...
He kind of is, which I can understand.
Yes.
Because, CM Punk, right? He's probably... he's awesome.
Also, he literally was fired on his wedding day.
Yeah, that's kind of a no, man. You don't do that. Also, there's still the ongoing lawsuit.
His wedding day was an anniversary anyways.
It was his... I think it was his wedding day.
Yeah, so that was like bad timing.
You can't do that. But that's also the thing where... Vince apologized for that, though, but you can't tell me to do that on purpose. He did do that on purpose. Specifically because he got married to another wrestler, so Vince knew both of them, probably knowing the way to do... AJ Lee, by the way.
Yes.
So, what was I saying?
Something about Punk.
Yes. Yeah, he apologized for it. Did do it on purpose, too. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Punk has is very much divided with Triple H more so than Vince McMahon himself.
Yes.
Meaning that Triple H, who is most likely to run the company than when Vince is gone.
Yes, of course.
Even though, I mean, you can't, on screen you kind of want Shane, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the on-screen battle, but
I mean, behind the scenes, I mean, Triple H has done great stuff with NXT.
Man, Triple H is a saint to this business.
He knows what he's doing.
The man knows what he's doing, and he'd probably run it a lot better than Vince these days.
Yeah.
I want to say. There would be less wasted talent and all that stuff. So yeah, Punk, man. Bring CM Punk back. If that's one message that you'll take away from this whole, like, CM Punk needs to come back to the WWE. The fans would love that, and the WWE should do what the fans want.
What's best for business.
Exactly. Yeah, because the fans are the business.
That's the authority thing, what they always say.
Yes,
do what's best for business.
Exactly, right? And Punk pretty much is, and no one wants to see Paige back. Who?
There is probably someone.
Like, yeah, possibly, but, like...
Don't use absolutes.
But, yeah, that's true. But, like, is a thing, right? Doesn't matter how well you present her as, like, a babyface or whatever. If people know what type of person someone is in real life, and the type of shit they do in real life, we're not gonna like him. And that's the same, like, okay, there are bad people in the WWE hidden behind a pretty nice and likable gimmick.
Yes.
Dean Ambrose, for example. Like I've heard stories. Not a guy I want to know IRL. Absolutely not. Done some fucked up shit. Gimmick, pretty cool. Like him on screen, but there's this.
But also, if he was exactly like his gimmick, you would also not want to know him in real life.
I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. But Jonathan Good, his name, I can't approve. Then there's people who is the exact opposite. They're portrayed as like monster heels and bad people, and they're actually...
I've heard Braun Strowman is a really nice person.
Yeah, Braun Strowman.
Like Adam, whatever his name is.
What? Adam... Oh, what is it? Something... I think it's something weird, I'm not sure.
It doesn't matter right now,
even Baron Corbin, maybe. But there's these people who are like portrayed as really bad people, and they're actually really cool in real life.
I've also heard Charlotte is really nice.
Charlotte, I would imagine
she was really good as a heel, though.
Yeah, she
was really
good as a heel.
Not likable as a heel, which is kind of the point.
That's just acting, though.
Yeah, but I'm saying that was also the exact opposite of the character.
Yeah, Miz and Maurice,
yes.
Probably pretty cool in real life too. I'm not sure about Brock Lesnar. He apparently is also tough guy in real life. Which,
yes, also someone you don't want to piss off in real life is Randy Orton.
And Chris Jericho.
Oh yeah,
he's taken down Goldberg.
I know. for
real, and other people.
No, but like Orton is really quick to anger, and yeah,
fits his gimmick though.
Yeah, I was just saying while we were talking about people.
Yeah, he's gonna attack you out of nowhere, wherever, man. In the ring, outside the ring, at the airport.
It fits with his gimmick when he's a heel, basically.
Absolutely.
Not really that much. Anyways, so
that's like people they present well that are unlikable. Like, okay, other people would be like legends, like so-called legends, which have done like horrible shit, either in real life or not. Okay, so another thing, right? And this is gonna be controversial, right? Who would you rather see being praised for what they did in the ring?
Chris Benoit.
Purely in the ring.
You're gonna
I'm gonna drop
Chris
the name.
Benoit against someone and Chris Benoit.
For what they did in the ring, what they did in WWE, I'm gonna put Chris Benoit and Lita.
Yeah, of course, Chris Benoit.
Of course.
I already said that before you asked the question because I knew where you were going.
Yeah, and I just said that like people who did bad stuff in real life shouldn't be like in the WWE and all that stuff. I just said that example with Paige and Alberto, and I know it may sound a bit contradictory what I'm saying, like, but you cannot erase a person like Chris Benoit from history because he was probably the best wrestler that ever existed in WWE.
So the thing is, from my point of view, you have to always separate the people from the characters, whether it's a TV show like any other or it's wrestling.
Yeah, but what do you judge it by though?
So if you judge the wrestlers as wrestlers, you should go for the characters.
Right.
But if you judge them as people, you're going for the people.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to stuff like the Hall of Fame,
Right.
you should judge them as wrestlers.
Yeah. But
Although some people who did a lot for the business, even if they weren't that great on screen, should also get there. So that's kind of a bit mixed as well.
So that way, could you justify it saying that people like Paige and Alberto should never set foot in WWE ring again, whereas Chris Benoit should possibly be inducted at one point?
So that's also a thing, because I agree with the WWE firing people if they are hard to deal with backstage.
Yes.
Because that's necessary for the work
We're talking
environment.
the present day, right?
But if we're talking about things that have already happened, like the Chris
Yeah.
Benoit thing, that's a closed book. Like,
Yeah, you can't do anything about that anymore.
yeah, but he was still a great wrestler, so he should be in the Hall of Fame.
One of the best. I mean, top 3. Like, literally top 3 of all time in the WWE. Which is a thing that we also need to do at one point. A list of, like, top 10. So, at some podcast down the road. Top 10 favorite wrestlers, like, from the WWE. Yeah, like, they are pretending he never existed. Which that's not a way to deal with that, because it doesn't matter what you do in real life. Okay, I shouldn't say that. That was poor wording, but when you're an outstanding wrestler, that shouldn't be buried.
Exactly.
Is what I'm saying. I know that like Vince McMahon couldn't have come out there a week later and be like, "Oh, remember Chris? He was pretty good. Remember that? Yeah, he did a lot for our business." Of course not, but it's been pretty much exactly 10 years now.
Yes.
So I mean, come on, and yeah, that's how I would justify that. With the present day, do what's best for business. People like Paige, maybe even Ambrose. I guess Ambrose isn't that bad anymore in real life. But those type of people, also I might get hate for saying what I'm saying. If you happen to like any of those, don't take it personal. It's just stating my opinion. Like Lita, right? Lita still sitting on the committees for some reason. Probably gonna be in the hall. Is she in the hall? Might be in the hall at one point.
I
don't think she is.
know.
Trish Stratus was in the hall, right? Was she?
I think so.
It was inducted this year. Like that? Like, no thanks. Like, no thanks. I remember back, anything that did, I know it wasn't her fault or anything, right? That was the booking back in the day.
Yes.
Same for, like, other people that did on-screen stuff, but those people who were, from a point of view from now on, pretty horrible as wrestling figures, they're still glorifying them as wrestling figures.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Because if they want to portray someone as a legend,
yes,
that used to be a somewhat big deal in the past, they can do that.
Yep.
Also, back in the day, they could push whoever they wanted to without the fans getting in the way.
Yeah.
Because now, when the fans know what's going on backstage more,
yeah,
they will rebel against the choices that the industry makes.
Exactly, right.
That's why Roman Reigns is so hated, and for example, like Ric Flair was so loved. He's not a great wrestler.
Ric Flair, not the greatest wrestler.
He's a good showman, but he's not a great wrestler.
Great entertainer.
Like, not a good athlete, though.
No, by far. There was so many ones.
And then they're saying that Charlotte is a great wrestler because of the genetics.
Right, which...
No!
No, she's a freakish athlete.
But that has nothing to do with Flair.
Not really. I don't know where she gets it from, but Flair was not one of the best physically. Definitely not. Like, people like that's an odd comparison, but compare him to, say, Bobby Lashley or like Apollo Crews or like
the exact him and Apollo Crews basically the exact opposite.
Exact opposite. Like, great athlete, like does all the flips, all the stuff, but on the mic and like showmanship, not really.
Yeah.
Flair, the exact other way. So, but that tells you what's important, though, doesn't it? I mean, the best thing would be both.
Yeah, of course.
Which Chris Benoit.
I mean, these days you have to be at least a decent wrestler to make it in the business.
Be a decent wrestler and a decent talker.
But the thing is, it's better to be a decent wrestler and a great talker than being a great wrestler and a decent talker in a lot of situations.
Absolutely.
Although, for example, like the cruiserweight wrestling, when they can do the stuff they do normally,
which is wrestle.
Yeah, then that's pretty great as well.
Yeah. But that's with those people, like, because on the indies, right? On the indies, no one cares about you giving a 10-minute monologue and like being pretty much able to run for president with the type of speeches that you give, like Paul
sometimes,
Heyman, right?
but not as much.
I appreciate Paul Heyman.
I mean, there are some
like you wouldn't believe.
big Kenny Omega,
Sure.
For example, does some great promos.
Yeah, but he's also probably the greatest wrestler alive.
Yeah.
Or one of the greatest wrestlers alive. He's might be on the top 10. If we're gonna do a top 10 of all time, all the world, or currently top 10, we might do a one all time WWE.
Yeah.
Maybe next podcast or at one point down the line. Might be a full topic too. We will see. More backstage stuff. Do you got something?
Not really, except for stuff which you already mostly mentioned, pushing people they like as opposed to people the fans like.
Booking decisions, maybe doing what's best for business at some points, which is just the big money, but not necessarily the hardcore fans.
Yeah, right.
A great example would be Goldberg over Owens.
Which also actually is another thing.
This year.
They're really relying on getting the big names from back in the day, as opposed to building up new talent. I mean, they are somewhat building up new talent, but not nearly as much as they should.
Earlier in the year more than they do now.
So, you need those names like Owens, Styles, Nakamura. Those need to be legends in the future.
Yes.
Because if they
are the best wrestlers,
then who are you going to bring back as a nostalgia act if people don't care about the wrestlers from the last few years?
Yeah. And if you're going to have Owens being squashed by a 50-year-old Goldberg, right, at Fastlane, just because he wanted to have Goldberg and Lesnar again.
What's the point of bringing someone like that back if he doesn't put someone over?
Right. Brock Lesnar doesn't need putting over.
No, but Kevin Owens could have used it.
Kevin Owens, huge. And I guess it's going to culminate in Brock Lesnar putting someone over?
Roman Reigns.
Hopefully Samoa Joe at SummerSlam.
Yeah, hopefully Joe. But
hopefully Joe at SummerSlam or Braun.
I mean, I was about to say I would take Braun, but they are probably gonna do Reigns.
I'm still hoping for Joe at SummerSlam, honestly. Fun fact: Paul Heyman was advocating backstage for Samoa Joe to win a title at SummerSlam.
That's great.
And on screen he was advocating for Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, of course.
But he said that on this week's Raw, as we record, that if Brock loses the title at SummerSlam, himself and Brock will leave the WWE.
Which could happen.
Because he wants to return to the UFC.
Exactly.
Which takes a while for him to
get the suspension,
ready. Get ready for a
also,
fight.
he has to be in the drug testing pool to wait on the suspension.
Yeah.
Which, again, there were stories about him entering that. I'm not sure what the exact status on that is right now.
Exactly.
Recording this.
But I hear WWE are planning him in for at least the Rumble and Mania next year.
I'm also not exactly sure how long his contract runs. He definitely has an option where he can extend it.
I think it's next year's Mania or something like that.
But yeah.
I don't know. Alright, so that's pretty much what I want to talk about. This was really rambly, but that's what the podcast is for, right?
Yeah.
Usually we even tend to do that in other videos, but this time not so much. Both of these topics are not concluded by any means. There could be 100 follow-up videos on each of them.
Yes.
And there might be. Maybe not that quantity, but at some point, definitely. Okay, I'm going to call that quits for now, but there will be more on that. Let us know, propose stuff to us that we're supposed to talk about, maybe specific incidents of backstage shenanigans in the WWE. Let me know how much you disagree with me on Chris Benoit and go on tilt completely in the comment section. I'm talking to all three of you. Whoever watched this podcast ever. Have a heated discussion or whatever, but stay humble and stay human. Alright,
Song of the week.
Song of the week. Are you gonna start?
Okay, so my song of the week is Do-Wah Diddy by Manfred Mann.
Oh, alright. That's a cheery song. We're talking about catchy songs, right?
Yes.
Lyrics kind of very simple.
Do-Wah Diddy Diddy Dum Diddy
Yeah,
Dum.
it's very simple. Also, plot, I guess. That's been done 30,000 times.
But it's a really great song from the point that it's catchy and stuff.
Yeah, it's really catchy. Kind of like Centerfold, a little bit.
Yeah.
Not necessarily great at storytelling.
It's a generic love story.
Yeah, not necessarily good at storytelling, which Centerfold is kind of.
She's mine.
All that bullshit. That's what every other song does, but catchy.
Yeah.
Good song. I'm not gonna complain. My song, more of a storytelling thing, less of a catchy song. Tomorrow by the Graces.
Okay.
You know that song?
Yes, I do know that song.
Plot maybe also a little bit overdone, which generic love song, I guess, or like not in the exact same way that Do War Did is, but not in the exact same way that Centerfold is, because you can look at different perspectives and like different angles and whatnot. Not necessarily catchy. Both good songs. Go listen to both these songs.
And all the artists we mentioned in the halftime show.
All of them. Anything specific to point out there? I don't think so. ABBA. Man, we need to value ABBA more.
Yes.
Great song. Even though probably the one band that differs most from the style of music that we usually like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's more of a, like, cheering up pop type of party music than anything else.
But it's still better than most pop songs.
It's still better than most pop songs, yeah, but I guess there is a case to be made for pop that pop's not all that bad.
Yeah, I mean, some of it isn't, some of it is.
Like, there's still modern pop, like these days, which is pretty bad.
Yeah, of course, some of
but
the
also
pop
not,
music
but also
is,
modern,
isn't.
like modern rock is nowhere near as good as it was 30 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, there's still some of the old school bands around which are still pretty great.
Yes.
Like AC/DC.
Like the Stones, like John
yeah.
Bon, like Run Rigs, for example, right? But in general, the stuff that comes out these days, I mean, if Michael Jackson was still active these days, and alive for that matter,
I mean, he could come back as a zombie. I mean, have you seen the Thriller video?
or as a spirit, have you seen South Park? Allegedly. It was a civil trial, there was no evidence, ignorant. Anyway, he would still be pretty good these days.
Yeah, of course.
I'd still like him, right? So there's the thing, right? Music has gotten progressively worse over the last 30 to 40 years.
I think that's partially also the nostalgia effect of just, you don't remember a lot of the bad songs, but you remember the good ones.
But in general, that you can't really deny that. I mean, I can't and you can't, other people can, because they believe that today's music is good or whatever, right? They like different genres.
There is no objectively correct opinion, because opinions are subjective.
Yes. Well, in some cases there is, but not in this one, because there's no moral issue there.
Sure.
Right? If my opinion was that it was okay to kill people,
yeah, I know what you're getting at.
There is a correct and a wrong opinion, because there's one problem ethically with one of those opinions. That's like with the freedom of choice over, like, I don't know, no, I'm not gonna get into
that's okay to do that. We're just talking about music.
That's a whole different topic and way too political to get into right now. So I hope you like this podcast. If you do, then do. Like, if you like it, then
if you liked it, then like it.
I mean, that kind of makes sense, right? There's a logical correlation between liking it and liking it, right? It's like, takes like 2 seconds, right? That's what people always say, though. Stereotypical as shit. It takes only 2 seconds to like this video.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
But you know what takes like 2 to 5 minutes? Going through all the videos and watching them. Not watching them, but liking them. And then you know what takes like a couple of days? Going through all the videos and watching them.
Yeah.
But you're looking for a way to spend time, right? Go to all the videos and then watch them.
I mean, if you like this video, you're probably gonna like a lot of the other videos we
Yeah,
did.
because this video was a reflection on all the topics that we cover. Good music, Rick and Morty, WWE, like a lot of it.
Yes.
And rambling, a lot of it. But we also played all kinds of games.
Yeah.
Alright, so
That's
it. That's it.